This is Elijah.
And this is Luke.
And we are the Eagles of Steel. So, last night was the NFL draft. And we've had a lot of, obvious picks, but we also had a lot of weird picks, crazy picks.
Shocking picks.
Yeah, that's another way of saying it. So, let's just get right into it, man. Like, we're just going to say, what we thought about each pick from each team and to see if it was worth it, if it was obvious or not, and if it was bad.
So let's start off with the first pick being Chicago Bears picked up quarterback Caleb Williams. What a shocker.
Yeah. Everybody saw it coming. And it was a no-brainer. They were going to take him. Now, for me, what I think about it, though, is I think the Bears made a big mistake.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is a lot of times, these past few years, when it comes down to first-round picks, they've all been busts. Like, last year's first-round pick, Bryce Young. You saw how he was in his rookie year. Ouch with Carolina. Like, prior, you had Baker Mayfield as the number one pick in the same draft class as, guys like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. And you see that he was picked first, and now you see where he's at right now.
So you think he's going to be a bust?
I think he's going to be a bust. What about you?
It was an okay pick. It wasn't the greatest pick for me. There were other really good quarterbacks out there.
Yeah, there was at least 6 solid ones.
We're going to get to those in a sec here.
Yeah. Literally in a second. So,
why don't you go with number 2?
Yeah. So the number 2 pick was Jaden Daniels, quarterback for the Washington Commanders. And I'm going to let you start this one. What do you think of it?
They made a great choice. That was a great choice of quarterback. That's why I have it start off here, because that was a perfect quarterback for Washington. They needed one like that.
Yes. And for me, it was a great pick. Even got a nice star of approval, because this is the guy I was hoping the Bears would have taken. Because remember, Caleb Williams literally didn't even like the Bears. He literally tweeted all over the place. He put messages all over the internet saying he hated the Bears. He hated the idea of going there.
Well, you went there anyway.
But he went there anyway. So I was hoping Jaden Daniels would have been the ones the Bears picked instead. Nope. But at least the Commanders picked him up. And the Commanders really need him. Because if you want to talk about a team in an interesting division that has, you guys in it, but also the Cowboys, they'll be able to compete with those guys. They needed a quarterback. And I think Daniels is the guy who could be able to do that.
All right, so our number 3, Patriots, number 3 draft pick, Drake May, quarterback.
And understandable. They had no quarterback, so they need a quarterback. Now, I don't really know too much about the guy. He's probably going to be a really solid QB.
Better than Mac Jones.
Yeah, anything's going to be better than Mac Jones. Now, unfortunately, though, the Patriots don't have any wide receiving core. So the guy's kind of going in with nothing. I know Carolina had the same kind of issue, and that's why probably Bryce Young didn't do so well. But they still haven't upgraded Bryce Young's receiving core for next year, so they're still going to suck. But for the Patriots, though, they're the same position. So they need to get a receiving core for Drake May for him to actually perform, to actually have a chance.
That is fair.
But we'll see what happens. Next up is the Arizona Cardinals, who took Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver, at pick 4. And that's solid, dude.
I gave it a all thumbs up.
Yeah, that was a good pick from the Arizona Cardinals, because they needed a wide receiver and desperately needed. And Kyler Murray finally has somebody he can throw to, because when he did have somebody, he had Hopkins before, a couple years ago. When he had him, he popped for the first half. The second half, Cliff Kingsbury did his Cliff Kingsbury ways. But in the first half, though, they were popping. And now having a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr., that's going to change everything for them. I think it's going to get them back on track.
That was a big of approval for the Arizona Cardinals. I gave it a big old star. It was a great pick. Anyways, number 5. Now, this is going to be interesting for a first rounder. The Los Angeles Chargers took Joe Alt, offensive tackle. I'm like, what the heck?
Okay. I understand, Chargers. You needed some of your line. It wasn't the greatest line. But you could have easily have taken a guy in the second or third round. Because you know what you guys needed? You guys needed dang Malik Neighbors. Or you needed Roma Dunze. Or you could have even went for Brian Thomas Jr. I don't care who it was. You needed a receiver. You lost both of your top two guys. Instead of going for another one, you get a tackle? I'm sorry. I don't care how good this guy is. You needed a receiver. I don't care.
I agree. You could have went easily for a second or third round pick.
Hey, epic fail, man. Just epic fail. Speaking of Malik Neighbors, number 6, the Giants selected Malik Neighbors for a wide receiver. And yet again, what I think is, I think the Chargers and the Giants picks needed to switch.
I think the Giants needed...
Giants needed Joe Alt. The Giants needed the tackle because their O-line gave up how many sacks? Like probably over 60
Over
with
70.
all three receivers combined?
Over 70.
Or quarterbacks? Just, bro, like they needed a guy. But they chose Malik Neighbors, which, believe me, he's not a bad pick. Like, he's a really good receiver, and the Giants also needed a receiver, so I understand that. And that was definitely a risky move, and I appreciate it. But at the same time, though, they needed a tackle because Dan Jones is just going to get hurt again because that line is just going to go boom, 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 5 sacks in every game, you know? At least.
Yeah, I wish these two would have been switched, or else I could have started both of them if they were switched around.
Okay.
Anyways, at number 7, the Titans picked up J.C. Latham, another offensive tackle. But here's the thing: the Titans needed the O lineman, and that was a good call.
For me, it was all right. Like, I think they needed wide receivers and like other different big things, like because they were kind of missing a lot of things. But I wasn't mad about them taking a tackle. Like, it was fine. They needed a quarterback though because they're stuck with a guy like Malik Willis. They don't have a quarterback, so I guess. Oh no, the Colts took Joe Flacco. That's right. So I don't understand. Like they needed a quarterback. They should have taken JJ McCarthy, but I don't know why they didn't. It's whatever, I guess. Speaking of a shocking next pick, the Atlanta Falcons took Michael Penix Jr., quarterback, over JJ McCarthy at quarterback.
I'm honestly shocked about this.
Yeah. Here's one thing. They just paid Kirk Cousins, I don't know how much dang money, for like 4 years. And they just got a rookie QB. I'm like, are they only planning to use Kirk Cousins for like 2? And then keep the other 2 for as mentorship or something? Like, what's going on here?
I mean, I guess they plan to mentor him for his rookie and for second year, I guess.
Which should be fine, but why'd you pay him for that much time? You should only pay him for like 2 years then. Like, I don't know. It's so confusing. But also at the same time, now, they chose to go with probably the lowest of the 6 quarterbacks in the top draft, and they took him. Very ballsy move from Atlanta. I don't think it was wrong, but I don't think it was right.
So you think it was an eh?
It was an eh. It was like, it could have been better, but I'm not going to be mad. They didn't completely choke it like some teams, but it was like, yeah.
Okay, then. So the Bears had a second pick. They had 2 picks in this draft, first round. So number 9, they picked up a wide receiver, Roma Odunze. Hope I'm saying that right.
Yes, and I like at first I was kind of iffy about it, but then I looked into it. Was like, actually, it was a really good pick.
Even though the Bears do have one good wide receiver and then
2
good wide receivers, they needed a wide out 3.
Yeah, like I don't think their wideout 3 was even nameable. Like that's how bad it was. So the fact that they got him, I'm like, they have the top 3 receivers right there, and I'm like, that's awesome. But I already told you what Caleb Williams is probably going to do, so I'm kind of scared at the same time. But I guess we'll see what happens.
This was a good pick for the Bears.
It was. So now next up. Now, this is a team that went crazy this draft. The Minnesota Vikings, who actually weren't originally the 10. They were going to be the 11. But they traded with the Jets to go up 1. So the Vikings took J.J. McCarthy, quarterback, which was kind of expected because their starting quarterback would have been Sam Darnold if they didn't take a quarterback. So I'm kind of happy they went with them. But I just thought it was interesting. Vikings was going crazy during this draft.
So what do you mean by that? Is there like other draft picks that they made?
Like there's a couple other like things that they earned while doing this or lost at the same time. But like right here, like because they did this, but then they also were later on and traded up again. And I forget which pick it was. I think it was Jacksonville's pick they traded with or something like that. It was. They just went weird crazy with how they did it.
It's still a not bad pick for the Vikings.
Oh yeah, it was great.
And now, correct me if I'm wrong. This is I have to read this off. Lumia Fashano, offensive tackle that the Jets picked up.
Yeah, that's the best you're gonna say the name.
I can't say anything better than that.
Yeah. Now, what do you think it comes down to the pick of it though?
Jets needed O-line.
Yeah, I know they got Tyron Smith from Dallas,
But
they still needed more.
That was only one lineman. They needed more than that.
Yeah. So now they got 2 solid linemen on that team.
That's good.
Protect Aaron Rodgers, who hopefully doesn't get hurt in 2 plays. So
That is fair.
the Jets made a really great pick. I think it was one of the best options, actually, which is crazy because for me, people taking a tackle I don't like. But some people would just desperately need it, and I was like, thank you for actually being smart and doing it, even if it looks weird. So, now, number 12, the Denver Broncos were in desperate need of a quarterback, and they took Bo Nix.
I'm not surprised.
And it's a duh, because if they didn't take him, their starting quarterback would have been,
I don't know.
Wilson? Zach Wilson. That's right. It doesn't matter how I say the name, first name to last name or last name to first name. He sucks either way. So it really doesn't matter.
But so that was a great call by the Broncos.
Yeah, I was like, don't you even ever think about starting Zach Wilson, guys. Don't think about it. He is awful trash, and you know it. Oh, okay.
So number 13, the Las Vegas Raiders took tight end Brock Bowers. I'm like, I'm interested about this one. I'm kind of interested because I don't know if it was a great pick or not. It was more like for me.
It was awful because they already had a solid tight end, Michael Mayer from last year, who they drafted also like first round. He was a very solid tight end. He got hurt at one point, later in the season. But when he was playing, that dude was popping. And the fact that he just decided to get 2 tight ends, I'm like, bro, you don't need 2 tight ends like that. The other guy was fine. You don't need another one.
Like I
this
said,
guy better be worth it.
I was honestly surprised when they did this.
But for me, it was a fail. I was big thumbs down. I was so disappointed because I was hoping they would have taken somebody else that was still on this board. They needed, maybe even take, what was his name? Either Brian Thomas Jr. or Dallas Turner, because they have an edge rusher along with Max Crosby and Christian Wilkins. Imagine that. That would have been awesome.
That would have been cool.
But whatever, they went with the tight end. It's whatever. Gardner Minshew just has 2 tight ends now. So next up is the New Orleans Saints, who are at number 14. They took, well, guess what? A tackle. There's a lot of tackles this first round. Talise Fuaga. And for me, it's whatever. They needed one. They could have easily taken one in the second or third round.
I honestly thought they were going to get a wide receiver because remember, Michael Thomas is going to probably be retiring here.
It's they do have a young guy. What's his name? He's Chris Olave.
Yeah,
he's a very solid number 1.
But that's one receiver.
That's one receiver. Yeah, they need more than just that guy. I think Rashid Shaheed or something like that too. He's on their team. There's a couple smaller guys, but they definitely need another receiver too.
So next on the list is number 15, the Colts. Laiatu Latu is an edge rusher. Well, they need an edge rusher.
Okay, I agree. They need an edge rusher, but I would have easily preferred if they took Dallas Turner over this guy. Dallas Turner, I think, is the better pass rusher. So the fact that they decided to take this guy instead, it was I know they needed a position, and they got the position I was hoping they took, but they still wasn't the guy I was hoping. So I'm kind of I don't know.
It was a good pick.
It was fine. I'm not going to say it was bad, but... next up is going to be the Seattle Seahawks. They took Byron Murphy II, D tackle, and before when we were discussing this, I actually didn't know what they needed because I thought they still had like a really good D tackle. I looked at the roster; they had like nothing. So
This is honestly a good call.
this was probably one of the best picks of the draft for Seattle. It was the only D tackle taken in the first round, and I'm not kidding. That was the only D tackle. So the Seahawks got the best defensive tackle from this draft.
So they got a really good pick out of this draft.
Yeah, so Seahawks did really good with what they got, especially since they need to because the 49ers are in the division. So,
Any chance they got.
yeah.
Anyways, number 17. This is what I hope Seattle would have. Well, not really, but number 17, Jaguars traded their pick to the Vikings.
Yep.
So the Vikings also got edge rusher Dallas Turner.
And for me, it was finally someone took him. And the Vikings desperately needed one too because they got rid of Danielle Hunter and sent him to Houston. So they needed a guy to replace that role. And Dallas Turner is perfect for that. And the fact that he fell this low for me is shocking.
It is shocking. Like, I thought he'd be taking higher than that. I thought he'd be in the single digits.
Like, I know for me, there's so many teams up on the top that needed a guy like that, and they just didn't take him. I'm like, how?
For me, I start this one. This was one of the best picks that Vikings could have gotten.
Yeah, I know. Next up was the Cincinnati Bengals. They took, guess what? A tackle, Amarius Mims. Which, to be honest, the Bengals O-line's been kind of always iffy for a while. So building up that O-line to try to protect Burrow, that's huge because they got a receiving core already. So they didn't need a wide receiver. Like, their running back is fine, even though they got rid of Mixon. They got Zach Moss though, so it's not that bad. But they just they've been trying to build that O-line, and I actually think this is one of the smart O-line takes.
I think so too, because you're right. The Bengals O-line has been iffy, especially now that you didn't have Burrow for most of the year last year. Now you had a reason to draft an offensive lineman.
Yeah. So
next on the list is number 19, the Rams pick. They picked up Jared Verse, an edge rusher.
yeah, that's a solid pick. Like, I got nothing else to say about it. It was a solid pick. They needed an edge rusher, especially since Aaron Donald retired.
Well, there was also a shocker to us too. We didn't think he would retire at this point, but this was still a good call for the Rams.
Yes, they needed it. So
now here comes the hard part.
yeah, Steelers pick number 20. They took Troy Fautanu, guard or tackle. I think it was like one of the two.
If you didn't see his reaction from one of our shorts last
And
night, you'll probably see it now.
this I have to say it. Ah! Dang it! Dang it! Dang it! Dang it! Why, Steelers? Why would you break my heart? I couldn't sleep last night due to this crap. You guys had all the chances to take Brian Thomas Jr. We could have taken another edge rusher. We could have taken a corner. We could have taken anything awesome. But instead, you wasted on a freaking tackle.
It was a guard, but yeah.
I don't care who it was. You wasted it. You Steelers, why do you do this to me every year? I can't win with you guys, man. I can't win. Let me go get my hat.
Now you see why he's really upset today.
This team disappoints, but they're still my team. Unfortunately, sometimes. All right,
so
next
we cool
pick.
down with number 21.
Yes, you can go with this one.
This is the Dolphins pick at number 21. Chop Robinson, edge rusher. And this is honestly a good call because they lost Christian Wilkins.
Yeah, they needed an edge
this
rusher.
was a great call.
Yeah,
What do you think?
it was a good one. Yeah, like, I can't really say much about it. It was a solid pick. They needed it. Yeah. Now, next up, I'm actually going to let you say it again because...
Oh, it's my team. Oh, it's the Philadelphia
it is.
Eagles. And thank God they got this. Quinton Mitchell, at quarterback. Thank God, Phil, you got a corner.
And not only was it a corner, it was the number 1 corner in the draft because nobody took a corner until then. So you guys not only got the best lockdown corner in the draft, but now you have a chance to get rid of James Burnberry.
That is fair.
So that's awesome for you guys. And I was so happy to see you guys actually do something good in the draft.
No, I'll say thank you, Lord, for doing this.
Yeah. Next up is the Jacksonville Jaguars. They took, at their pick, Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver. Great pick. They definitely needed a receiver. Steelers disappointed and didn't take him. So he was up for grabs. So Jaguars were smart.
Now, for the number 24,
yes.
I'm excited for this one. This was originally the Dallas Cowboys pick, but they traded to the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
And they got another corner, Terrion Arnold. And I would say, great call, Detroit. That was a great pick.
And what's something that is really, really funny is this. The Lions, now 2 years at least in a row now, they traded purposely in front of the Green Bay Packers to take a player that the Packers were super wanting bad just to break their hearts. I'm sorry, I'm not a Packers or Lions fan, but just seeing that, knowing that they're rivals, is just hilarious. It's like they learn how to troll each other, and it's so funny.
I'm smiling here because I know it too.
And then just to make it even worse, number 25, the Packers pick Jordan Morgan, tackle.
Ouch.
Bro, seeing the live reaction from Packers fans live on the screen last night as the Lions fans pointed and were messing with the guy, and the guy was pretty much crying because of how bad it was.
Yeah, how good what they could have had.
What they could have had, they didn't take it. Yeah, Packers fans everywhere.
I'm sorry.
They were they were really wanting either center Graham Barton, or they were wanting the guy that the Lions took, Terrion Arnold. They wanted either one of those guys, and they didn't get either.
Which stinks. I feel bad. Sorry, Packers fans.
Yeah, Packers kind of screwed it up. Speaking of Graham Burton,
number 26, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers picked up Graham Burton, the center. To be honest, this isn't a bad call.
It was fine. For me, it was a whatever. I didn't like it because I think they needed some defense because they got a linebacker because they got rid of Devin White, so they needed a linebacker.
That's fair.
But also at the same time, you got to make sure you protect Mayfield, and their line was kind of iffy last year, so I understand it.
If you want to build it around Baker Mayfield, that's fine.
Yeah. So, 27, Arizona Cardinals, who was the former Houston pick, took Darius Robinson, if I'm saying that right.
Yes, you are.
Edge rusher.
To be honest, this is a great call for the Cardinals.
Yes, it was.
They had 2 picks, and their second pick was an edge rusher, and they needed one badly.
They got a wide receiver that was in desperate need, and they got an edge rusher that was in desperate need.
Cardinals had a great first round.
No, Cardinals' great first round draft was probably the best, or one of the best, yes. Now, this one kind of broke my heart because it should have been Buffalo getting this, but they were stupid. So, number 28. I'll let you start it.
The Buffalo Bills had their pick, went to the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, here's what the Kansas City Chiefs got, which is what they really wanted. They got Xavier Worthy, wide receiver. And let me just say this guy can run a 4.2 and a 40-yard dash. I'm great, we got to deal with another Tyreek Hill now.
Well, technically, the Chiefs now have 2 Tyreek Hills because Marquise Brown is almost as fast.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So now Patrick Mahomes has 2 guys that are just as fast as his old Tyreek Hill.
Great. Here comes the third three-peat.
Exactly what I was thinking. Chiefs, they're just destined for it. It's nothing. It's just gonna happen. We can't stop it. Now, here's what's the funny thing, though. Just to get off of that sad little topic, to go to something from that to happy and laughing. Number 29, Dallas's pick. They took Tyler Guyton, a tackle. And guys, listen up. I know I saw some people in our shorts comments saying, yeah, they needed a tackle. Yeah. They could have easily taken a tackle in the second or third round.
And just as good.
Yeah. They needed either another linebacker, a running back, or anything else like that. So the fact that they only took a tackle in the first is laughable.
And that's what I put, too. I put laughable.
It was awful for them to take a tackle in this first round.
They choke in free agency, and now they choke in the first round of the draft.
Yep, Cowboys way. They're probably still going to get to the wild card and choke it there anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Anyways,
Now,
number 30, this was the Baltimore Ravens pick. They picked up Nate Wiggins at cornerback.
okay, as a Steelers fan, this hurt because that was a really good pick from Baltimore. Like, that was a solid corner. He was from Clemson.
This is a great pick for Baltimore. Like, they needed a corner. They needed a shutdown corner.
Yeah, that guy's going to shut down Pickens pretty bad, probably. Of course he is. All right. Number 31, the San Francisco 49ers. They got Ricky Pearsall, wide receiver.
And I'm honestly kind of shocked. I mean, I guess that there's rumors going around with the Brandon Ayuk trade. I mean, I guess they probably would draft a wide receiver.
So what is interesting about it? So I actually just did some research today, actually. Some new stuff that come out.
Go ahead.
So right now, I think there's a lot more likely chance that it'll actually be Deebo Samuel traded more than Brandon Ayuk traded.
Really?
Yeah, like, as in, like, both of them are technically up for grabs, but I think Deebo Samuel might be the one to go.
Wow, okay.
If that happens, and the thing is, the Steelers, my team, is actually the one on the board. So if we, as the Steelers, if we take at least either Samuel or Ayuk, I mean, us taking the tackle in the first round will seem a little less bad. Because at least we got something in a free agent form to where we actually could use it. But right now, it doesn't look like it's going to happen as that way. So that's why, yet again, like, I don't need to go into it again. But
So finally, number 32. This was originally the Chiefs pick, then went to the Bills pick, but then the Bills trade to the first pick of the second round, and the Carolina Panthers got the number 32, and they pick up Xavier Legette. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right.
Yes, you're good.
Wide receiver, and honestly, amazing pick, Carolina. You needed everything, so
Panthers fans everywhere. Hallelujah.
I agree.
Because you guys needed a receiver. Your best receiver was Adam Thielen, who's like 30-some years old, slow as dang heck, and then, like, yeah, he was terrible. You guys need a receiver. No, Deontay Johnson does not count. He sucked. I know as a Steelers fan, you guys got jibbed, Panthers fans. Thanks for the Deontay Jackson, though. I like that. But, yeah, like, this is a very good pick. They needed a guy like that. So, overall,
a lot of ups and downs.
A lot of ups and downs. The teams I think won the first round the most were definitely the Eagles, the Jaguars won it, Cardinals definitely won, Vikings won, Commanders I think won, and the Panthers won.
Yeah, I agree. Similar. Here's my teams that I think.
Yeah.
Chiefs got a good one. I know I'm saying that.
Yeah, I know.
Philly got one. Let's see who else. The Vikings and the Cardinals. Those four teams did really well.
Yeah. Now, the teams that were major disappointments: Chargers, the Raiders, the dang Steelers, the Packers, the Dallas Cowboys, not a shocker. And also even the Buccaneers a little bit for me were kind of a disappointment, but it could have been worse for them.
I have three teams. I have
All right.
your Steelers, Dallas, and let's see who else. The Colts didn't have it was because they would have picked what's his name?
Latu, edge rusher.
Yeah, but they could have gotten a better edge rusher.
Yeah,
that's why I have him as an It wasn't the greatest.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like, if you have anything to comment below about the draft and like what you guys thought of it and what you guys thought of each pick, just like I said, like, leave the comment below. And if you like this content, hit that subscribe button. That's right in the middle of our screen right here.
That thumbs up too.
And also leave some thumbs up. Join our cause, man. We're only at 31. You guys can join us, please. Please.
All right. So this is Luke.
And I'm Elijah. And we are the Eagles of Steel. Bye.